Are we live? Are we live? All right, guys, it's Jed, and I'm joined once again by Al K. And we are retracing the steps of Del from Beyond the Imaginary Curve. And I have to address this about Del from Beyond the Imaginary Curve and his minions, that they had a picture of me on Team Foilet's background. So this is showing that they're stepping over the line. They're trying to get into your personal life. I just think that's out of order. I think Del should explain this. Instead of making out he knows my history, because if he knew my history, he knew my past, he wouldn't be poking so hard. And his little minion, Sandy, I'm watching you tape, pal. Right, anyway, we're going to retrace back to where Del was standing and where he was looking.
No, almost.
Almost. The same water, the same river, the same buildings, the same sort of shit. Not exactly the same fucking... We've not retraced his footsteps, but it's the same sort of place. And we try to get some better footage because Del's was all over the place, which I think of Del's footage.
Sorry, you're asking them or me?
It was you. I was asking you.
Oh, well...
Del's footage. What do you think of the quality of his footage as evidence to prove his...
Well... As you know, I haven't actually watched the video properly. I've only seen small chunks, but what I've seen with the actual point where he's zooming in with the camera, it's ridiculous. You can hardly make out what's going on because it's just wobbling about all over the place. He zooms in and it's fuzzy, and before you get the chance to see what's going on, he's zooming back out again so he can talk to the camera.
And you see everybody in the comments like, oh, great Del, great Del. But when you get people like Soundly and again like yourself and people that bring like good, solid, clean, crisp and footage, even the ones that you shown, was it the turbines that never even had any reflection? There wasn't even any refraction or nothing.
Or was turbines did, but the boat in the water was just perfect. That was really
and that was perfectly clear, and that's not good enough. But Del's blurry fucking, it looked like Blair Witch Project fucking down by the seaside. You know what I mean? It was shite. But we managed to pause and see obstruction. Del was kind enough to show us obstruction, and we've worked out it's about 40 feet the obstruction for that where he was standing into that building, about 40 feet in the curve calculator.
Aye, around about that.
Aye. So anyway, enough
if you believe these things.
I'll have a look at what Al's got. Right, Al. Let me see what you got, mate. Actually, I think you should begin with, well, we'll have a look at what Del was looking at first.
You do that, mate.
Right, we'll have a quick look at what Del was looking at. And this is the best we could get, guys. We were like sort of skimming over his footage, and it's pretty hard. But let's see. This was his location. So where were you again? Oh, this was his position, first position. Where were you around?
Well, I'll show it better in Google Earth.
You were across the water, roughly.
I was across the water. See if anybody that's watching where it says Dumbarton. If you go straight down from that, you'll see a wee bit of land kind of slightly sticking out, and that's where the castle is. So I'm down there, right, for my first view sort of thing.
He's here, and you're just sort of across. Right.
Aye.
Cool. And where was it? 15, 14, I think it was. 15, 14. Right, so this is about it. And you've got images of this building. And we've kind of
that was one of the problems with the footage, is that I think most people, like, they had a rough idea where he was supposedly standing and supposedly looking, but he never really told you exactly. And that's obviously, that's quite a... it stands out, that kind of structure, but he never identified what it was and stuff like that. So that was like one of the main reasons for having a wee look, was to actually identify stuff.
But we were looking at it, and there's a lot of distortion in this this building, because it almost looks like a ferry going across the water. But we know by looking at your photographs that these windows here, they don't stop at this white barrier. This is like a mirrored reflection underneath those windows, Those windows are longer. Those windows are a lot longer than they appear here. They go right to the
the
ground
roof.
on the other side.
The roof slopes, and basically where you can see what looks like the start of the windows, that would really be like the end of the roof, and then you would get the side of the building, sort of thing.
And there's also black railings here that you can't see. It's behind the water, and a bank. There's like a bank. There must be about 8 feet, 9 feet. I'd say.
I think well, if you when I get the photos there, there's people walking on it. And if you take a guess, a kind of rough thing, looking at like the height of the person, and then compare that to the height of it, you can get a rough idea.
So we worked at the Dell. Well, it was 9 point something miles, about 10 miles. So he's roughly. He's roughly. We're looking for about 54 feet if we're right on the ground, sea level, and he's standing 6 feet. So we're looking about 40 feet curvature, and you're looking for the same. About 40 feet of curvature. Must be roughly the same, eh?
It'll be similar. I think, like, so for example, when I'm studying at Dumbarton, I'm probably like higher up to begin with anyway, because he was right down on some grassland, by the looks of it.
Right. Anyway, we'll have a look at your stuff, mate. See what you've got. That's the best of what
Right, hold on. So... Right, that should be Google Earth Pro up. If you just let us know, you can see it.
I can see it fine, mate. See it fine.
Hold on a minute. Orphan, it's pretty apparent you don't know how to explain what you're talking about. It's probably because it's pure fantasy and you've made it up in your head. But anyway, he's talking nonsense again about the horizon rising up and hiding stuff.
She's a trier. But it'd be good to see Orphan Red actually doing her own observations herself.
Right. Sorry. So I've put this down as camera 1 because it's like the main position I started taking proper pictures from. But before I went there, I went to bowling just in here.
Aye.
And just took a couple of pictures from there. You can't see right down the river from there, though. So. But this is the Erskine Bridge. Actually, I'm forgetting this doesn't look the same on yours, does it? It doesn't display full screen.
It's kind of 3/4. But I can see.
So I'm thinking
I can still see it fine though. I can still see the bridge.
If I zoom in, you can see the bridge. See, it's just that I remember from watching that last one that the mouse doesn't go where I think it's going. Do you know what I mean?
You know what, Dave? We'll go over a photograph because I noticed the photograph still highlights wherever your location is. So if you put your wee hand at a photograph that's near the location, it pops up.
So anyway, the first time I went down into bowling and took a couple of pictures from down there, right? And then I moved along to here, which is Dumbarton Castle, basically. So you can see the layout pretty well there on the Google Earth. So I took a couple of photographs from up here in the castle grounds, and my main kind of set of photographs I took from this wee corner point here on the path that runs round. So right up next to the fence down here. All right. So that was the first place that I stood, and I was obviously concentrating on trying to look across up here and identify the building and all that kind of stuff, which I've marked. Sorry, a wee bit far away. Right, so there. It's the Waterfront Leisure Complex, and that's it there.
Right, so this was the building we were looking at in Dell's footage. It looked like a ferry. Aye.
Yep. All right, so that's where I'm concentrating on finding it and getting it in view and stuff like that. And then I moved up again to get closer, to get better pictures of it and stuff like that. And what I've done is, let me see, I've come up through Cardross. And can you see that kind of car park area?
Yep.
So I've parked in there and walked around. There's a sawmill here. I've walked past the sawmill, over the field here. And this wee bit's no scanned on the satellite properly, but it was on the bend here.
Tim was
looking across.
Tim was saying that as well, that the Google Earth was quite bad in this area.
Aye, some bits. Aye. But as I've got it zoomed in there, the new you can see there's a house up near the top of the screen.
Yep. See where we white building
Right,
beside it, an outhouse.
Aye. It's just, I'll use that as a reference point when I'm looking at the photos. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and as you'll see in the photos, when I was looking from there, obviously I was getting better views because I was closer to this waterfront leisure complex. But I looked around and I've got some photographs looking through here, and I've identified the area in the background from a couple of the photographs. I was looking earlier to try and properly pinpoint it. So I've been in here on Street View and looked at the houses in a row along here to make sure I've got the right bit. Okay, so we'll see that in a bit. So
Hunter's Key or something. That was called Hunter's Key.
It's near it. It's kind of in between Hunter's Key and Kern, but if anybody's looking it up, they can either look for Hunter's Key and they'll be close to it, or the next big town is Dunoon, but that's further.
This is right past what Dale was looking at, though. This is much further. He was only looking at where was he looking at?
Well, the thing is, right, so if you look back at my first camera position, Dale had 2 positions, I think.
Aye.
And so his first position or whatever was like across here or somewhere into here. And then his second position was, I think, further back. So his distance from his further back observation up to Greenock, where the waterfront is like a similar distance to what I'm getting to this place across in the background. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So there's some similarities there. Anyway, make more sense when you look at the photos, I suppose.
I know, because you're further up on the map and then you're looking further away, and he's kind of the same, but further back on the map. Kind of thing. It's similar.
If I do a quick measure here, just a rough.
So you can see.
So from position 1. Aye. So according to that, obviously it's a wee bit rough, but it's about 7.5 miles from Dumbarton. Let's see, just clear that, and then from the second position, it's only it's much less. It's only 3.5, 4 miles, depending on the actual bit you're looking at. So that's obviously that was the point of moving up, was to get a much better view of all of this stuff. Anyway. And then after I did that, I came round this side and I went and stood actually right next to the building and, took a couple of photographs in there. So I've ended up looking from here back up this way.
Right.
So as I pointed out earlier, you've got Erskine Bridge back here. So I'm standing back here and I'm looking right up, and, you can see like this area in front of the bridge and stuff like that. So there's similarities with the way of looking at it, but I'm looking at it from the opposite side as well. You know what I mean? Right, give me a sec.
So we roughly just looked at where you were standing, and it was near enough, not exactly where Dale was standing, but you're across the water, you're looking at the same buildings, you're looking at the same banks. Same building.
Sorry, David Little, if you're asking me about camera, it was I've got the P900.
That must be an old camera. There must be a P1000 or some shit.
I'm hoping they'll do that soon. Right, just let us know if you can see these pictures.
I see the first one now.
Right, so this is this is from the bowling area, just to kind of get an idea where you are. So obviously that's Erskine Bridge, and one of the things you should be able to notice a wee bit from this photo, even is the the kind of the low water. You can see the shore there. As I say, I think for his second position, Dale would have been like over the other side there somewhere, but it's hard to say exactly. And then it's just looking down the other way. Now, as I say, you can't look right down the river from here, but the reason I've included these pictures, they're shit pictures, but the only reason I've included them is because they're up this end of the river near bowling.
Right.
And you can see these features in the water. Right. This is the main reason they're here. It's because they'll sort of be relevant in a wee while. Just zoomed in on that a wee bit. So it's just so you're kind of aware of these things being up this end of the river, basically.
Cool.
Right. I know it's nothing special. It was just so it's just because it sort of becomes relevant with some of the other photos. Let me see. Just need to get some more photos here.
Look in the chat. Excuse that. With Timaeus, the Lyle, Ohio. I think Orphan Red's here. Yeah, I'm out. I've had enough rude comments on my own channel right now. Theodora, Christopher. So Rock Lover's back. Dave Little, what camera? Yep. Cool. Nice to see everybody. We're just putting more nails in the coffin of Flat Earth. It's getting a bit of habit, this, with Al Kate. He's a savage. He's a globe earth cultist savage. It's funny how I'm meant to be a government agent and they've got a picture of me doing removals. And they still can't call me a government agent. Again, a guy doing a normal guy's job. But I must be a government agent removal man. But it's just pathetic they'll go that far, I've got to say. It's fucking pathetic.
Well, it's pretty... I think it just points to the problems with their mental state, to be perfectly honest with you, mate.
Yep.
To actually go that far, that just because you've got some like weird idea about the shape of the earth and you argue with a couple of people online about it, you think that that means that it's okay for you to go trying to hunt them down and hack them and call them pedos. And I mean, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous behaviour and it's no normal. It's no normal at all.
You rounded that up brilliantly, mate. I couldn't have said it better. Now, what are we looking at anyway? What's this?
It's still loading on my side.
All right, we see it now. Yeah.
Right, hold on, because it always goes to the last one. It's a fucking pain. Right, it's not going to be in order, right? So I'm not going to sit and try and put them in order for you. You'll be waiting all night to see these pictures.
What you're looking at, what we're looking at, mate. That's good enough.
So, obviously, this is looking across to the place. This is from position 1, as I've called it, down at Dumbarton, right? And you can. This is the building.
Is that building?
That's that building there.
That's that same building.
Right.
So you're getting less of that mirrored sort of effect that Dell was getting.
It's not so bad.
You
can't see it all though.
I know you can't see it all, but you can see there's more definition in the grill parts of the windows. You've got that roof bit going over. The second part of
everything looks pretty normal down at the waterline.
This is much clearer than Dell's stuff.
But with some of these photos, I want to point something out. This isn't the best one, but I'll point it out in a couple of them. Is all this stuff about perspective and likes of the crap that Orphan Red was just trying to come out with. It's just such nonsense. You know, the way everybody knows the way it really works. And you can see that with things like this on the water. That as they're further away, they get slightly smaller. And in terms of if you treat it as a 2D drawing or whatever you want to call it, an image, the further away object obviously moves higher up in your frame.
Yep.
But it always, if it's to do with the water level, the thing that if it's anything on the water, it can't go below the line of that water as it's getting further away. It can only keep kind of rising up with the water until obviously you get to whatever the end is, you know, in the furthest away point.
Yep.
You can't have something, it can't go up and smaller, up and smaller, up and smaller, and then suddenly, miraculously, disappear behind the waterline. You know what I mean? It's just nonsense. Anyway, it's not the best photo for it, but
no, it was still a good one showing that building was obstructed because we'll see a picture.
This is just slightly to the left. These were just photos again, just to identify the place, so you can see because, like, so the crane is something identifiable. So this is just to the left. So the building would be out of shot to your right. Okay.
Right.
And you can see the same thing again. I was just talking about, the closest one of these, and then the next furthest away.
Yep.
Slightly higher up, slightly smaller. Then the next one away, slightly higher up, slightly smaller. And if your eyesight was good enough, you'd be able to tell what's going on with the wee one in the background there. But it can never go. It can never be, separated from the water that it's sitting on.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Again, just reference stuff. But...
See the blocks. We know we're looking over it. This is Greenock again. We're looking over at Greenock.
Aye.
Aye.
Just because I took a couple of photos, and I like having these. It's just to make this point that I'm making. You know, about the if you look at each one in turn, they slowly. There'll be very slight differences, but obviously they get further up towards the edge, but they never can go beyond it. Same shit again, right? So as I say, they're in order as well. So there's the building again. Now, you can see it looks a bit fuzzy.
Have you got a building just to show the viewers, like a picture of this building, like up close, what it should look like, the full, complete building? Just a quick one, just to sort of jump back and forth, just to compare what we're should be missing here. Have you got one ready? Just
can do that if you want. I was
just to give the people watching, because they might not have an idea of what this building looks completely, the whole lot, and the bank and the railings and everything else that goes with this structure. It'd be good just to show the people watching what the whole building looks like.
That's weird. I went to open it and for some reason Photoshop wasn't it?
Any worry, mate. Just take your time. Aha. That's it.
Right. Yep. So that's the building itself from the side on. So you can see the roof slopes down, but obviously there's this whole area, you know, the wall or whatever you want to call it after the slope finishes.
And that's obviously that grassy part's not a flat piece of grass. That must be about 5 or 6. Well, no,
it's got a bit of height to it, and then
it's maybe about 4 feet high.
So you know, out of shot, obviously to the left that you can't see the now is the drop down from the promenade or whatever you want to call it down to the water.
Aye. Have you got a picture of that drop?
Actually, I took photographs of that. Give me a sec.
Aye. So just to see how much we're missing here.
So this is just a general one, so that you can see the building in relation to the pathway in the water.
The guy standing there too, again, how high the wall is, that goes down to the water. How high that bank is.
And then the next, I've got another one where I zoomed in on it so you could see it. So you can see the water line and stuff like that.
You should be able to see that if it was flat. For that, we should be able to see
exactly.
This is
all of this and part of the where are we? And most of this is missing.
In Dale's video, it's half of those windows are just mirrored. They're actually obstructed, but they're mirrored to give an effect.
Right. It's like
it looks like it's ferry windows, but they're not. They're windows that go straight to the ground. You wouldn't even see. They wouldn't be little squares like that. Right, cool, man. We'll go back to your original, where you were. I was just trying to give the viewers something to sort of.
I guess cool.
Give an idea of when they're looking at.
Let's see, where are we?
So this is back to the same.
I think it was that one.
Yep, it was this one.
So even with these, you can't see all of that. I know it's a bit fuzzy, but you know, you're not seeing everything. You can see the top part of it.
Yep.
You can't really see what's going on with people, you know, wherever people would be walking and stuff like that.
Yep. And the bank.
I'd say it was hard to get good from the distance. It's hard to get the P900 to focus at full zoom, so you don't always get the clear shots that you want. You know, but obviously that's why I moved, so I could get better shots at it later. But it gives you the idea. You know, it's a better. You know, you can tell you're looking at the right building, if you like.
It's obvious obstruction. Right. It's obvious obstruction that we could see there, and it's
this was just a wee thing. When I was standing there after I'd taken a couple of the photographs, I realised I hadn't really identified the water level when I'd moved in, just to confirm it was still low. So I've just taken this picture of the bit that was below me. You can see obviously the water levels down there. And then this was just showing how it actually looked and zooming in. So even in that, on the wide shot, you can actually make it out if I zoom in and see it. So that's the building there.
Oh, aye.
Right. So if I just whack that back out, and then actually just zoom it in a couple of times just to get a feel for it.
So how high is your camera right now?
I mean, so I was on the pathway, and then because there's a fence there, I had to put the tripod up to see over the fence.
Right.
So I don't know the exact height of the fence, but I guess I would say maybe about 3.5 feet or something like that.
Right.
So off the deck, on the bit I was standing at, you can see the camera is probably about, like, say, somewhere between 4 and 5 feet. But I don't know about the height from the the walkway down to the water.
Aye. We could probably easily add another 6 feet at least.
Well, this could be at least 10 feet or more. You know what I mean? Let's see.
Right. And
so again, this is me just zooming in, zooming out, all that kind of stuff, but just trying to get better shots to try and kind of see how it looked from there. And this is another, again, I know I keep coming back to this point. Look at where these are sitting on the water compared to what you're seeing in the building.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So this was a general shot to show what it looks like from the path with the fence. And you can see the Erskine Bridge in the background there.
Right.
And then I noticed when you were quickly flicking through the video trying to find the bit where Dell's zooming in, you could see part of these.
Yep.
So kind of gives you a rough idea.
Aye. We've seen them in his video. I couldn't find them on Google Earth.
Right, so these were just higher up shots from the castle to get a better idea. And the thing about this is you can see better how low the water is. You can see all the water's out. You know what I mean? Like right out into here. And then you can see these features in the water, which I was pointing out when I was back up at bowling.
Right.
And then I just kind of, I don't know why that one's there. So just kind of zoomed in a bit on them.
Right, so what?
Because later on, when I look up the river, you can see some of this kind of stuff in the water and the trees. See these trees here. So obviously the water level's down. Zoom in a bit, right? So obviously the water level's down. You've got a bit of grassland and whatever, and then the trees start, right? But again, it being level and all this kind of stuff, and you can see like the water level's right down, and these are right out the water, right? These features. But when I'm looking up the river later on, you can't see like all of this. You can't see the grassland. You see like the trees from say there, and this is kind of covered up. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm pointing all this stuff out.
So I take it the cement bit at the bottom of the green things, they're hidden and stuff like that.
Aye, exactly. So that's the reason for how showing you this stuff, just so you got in. And I think like roughly, somewhere around about here is one of Dell's observation points, but I couldn't say exactly where. You know what I mean?
He's no specific enough himself.
Again, just another wee reference point for these bits in this bit of the river. You know what I mean?
Aye.
Again, you can see the water levels right down. Wee house in the background and stuff. It's not the most interesting photos, but it's just a frame of reference. And then again, just making this point about but the thing about this is you can see the other side, right? So it's just to kind of give you that what I was talking about. I know you know it, mate, but smaller, higher, smaller, higher. But at any point, the only thing this is going to do is follow the water. Any feature on the water can only go maximum to here, wherever the water ends. You know what I mean? And then so you'll get this effect where, like, if this say was sitting up here, it would stick up above a feature on the land, but you would still see the line of the land. You know what I mean?
Yep. But he would, like, people would say that's just a swell. It looks like the boys floating on the top of the water, and you can still see the land in the background. It's like it looks like a swell. Well, that's what Dell's calling it, like a swells.
The swell.
50-foot swell.
The magic swell, as I said the other day, just appears exactly at the right distance from a camera that fits with the curvature calculations, and it doesn't matter what direction you look, what time of day it is, and what part of the planet you day it on. It just so happens that the swell is always at the right distance to fake curvature or obstruction.
It's roughly about 40.
So it's like
obstruction, but it's about a 50-foot tidal wave. And it's the curvature fits in with the wave, the tide that he's, this wave that he's talking about. Anyway, man. Right.
I think we should call that the Deus Ex Machina excuse.
Yeah. You're getting a bit technical, mate. Right, what we're looking at there? The tree stump.
Oh, sorry, see, you put me off. Right, so the reason, again, you know, that I've included these, you know, obviously I was just looking at different features in the water, and these again tell you like the water levels down, and then again you can, unless I've screwed up and if I've missed the photos, you should be able to see these and some later photos to, again, a reference point for how low the water is and stuff like that.
Right. So what are they? They the petrified trees or something? Is that the old forest? What is that we're looking at?
I don't know if it's trees or not, to be honest, but it's like it's wee stumps, but I don't know what it's of. I don't know if it's like an old pier or what. I'm not really sure about it.
I know they've got fossilized trees in the west coast. So there used to be forests.
That was just here. So this is obviously a salient from the castle. So right there is where I was standing.
Right.
Taking
there.
The photos across
that path. So anyone can go into Google Maps. Is that Dunbar Castle?
Aye.
And you can see the curve, you can see the wee step, you can go exactly where and figure out how high he was when he took that photo.
Aye, exactly. It's a shit photo, but it was just to show the fence and
so dramatic.
What it was like looking towards.
It's a nice photo in general.
And then again, just you know, I'm conscious of this when I'm taking the photos. So I take the photos thinking, well, if anybody's looking at them, they can see the stages. Do you know what I mean? So standing behind the fence, looking over the fence, so you've got an idea where you're looking at, right?
Aye.
You can see the building there.
Aye. Same building.
And then that's because we loaded them in earlier.
Aye.
So give me a wee sec. It's a pain having to do it this way, but I don't really have much of an option.
No, but at least
I do have videos, but I don't know if it's worth sharing them, to be honest. It's just like, you know, zooming in and out and scanning around. So
no, you might as well, man. You might as well, because if people think Dell's stuff is good enough, I'm sure we can maybe find something in yours, little nuggets.
There's actually, I was messing about with the camera the other day, and I was trying out the slow-mo option on the video, and I had forgot to set it back. So I took a couple of videos, and it wasn't until I was reviewing them, I was like, shit, you know, it's pure dead slow scan. It was like you're falling asleep watching it, you know what I mean?
What you're showing here anyway, so far, up to this point, is what Dell was showing us was clearly obstructed. That building that you've shown, that white building, that leisure centre, that was clearly obstructed in Dell's video, and it must have been missing at least in a good 12 feet anyway, like what we're meant to be looking at.
I'm just loading some photos up. And then what I'll do
is Madame Medusa's now here, and D-Truth. The fact you're trying to prove things with evidence that idiots are not into looking at seems a complete waste of time to me. It seems a waste of time, but if you can flood YouTube with enough evidence, we can make it easier for people not to fall into these traps. This is the way I'm looking at it.
well,
How you doing, Vlad?
That's the thing. This isn't for the kind of people that are already out there and spreading the lie. It's for the benefit of people that get dragged into it.
Yep, people that are still curious, they're still kind of on the fence, and they need to see, because when I first started looking into this, there wasn't a lot of evidence, because people, like I said, people already knew it was a ball, so they're not going to come out trying to like shove it in your face. It was hard to look for pictures like you're showing, like obvious obstruction and curvature and things like that. It's harder to see. So if you can kind of get more of it out there, the less chance people are going to fall for this shit, I think. That's the way I see it, mate. What about you?
Exactly. You know, this is the whole purpose is to make sure there's an option for people who have maybe heard about it and they're looking into it, and they've got two sides of the story and not just the one faked, you know, poorly researched side that's based on pure fear and propaganda.
Yep. What have you got?
Sorry, mate. I'm just.
It's all right. It's all right. I was just looking at the chat anyway. Vladdy boys here. And Retracing.
Right, this isn't, again, it's not anything special, it's just to help identify where I am and what the water level's like and stuff. So, if you can see that video.
Aye. Yep.
This is as I was walking round to my second observation point, so I've not made it there yet, but it's to show the water level.
Right.
You can see it's right out.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And that bit over there, I've walked, you know, round and round there to. Oh, there you go. So you see, you know, you can't see right down, so I've had to walk round. It's probably not worth looking at the whole video, mate. It's just to get an idea about the water level more than anything.
We're nearly finished. It's nearly finished anyway, so.
It's cool. Right, so Stop start, so annoying, man.
It's better doing that than sharing the link.
Right, so should be back in Photoshop now, if you just let us know.
Aye, we're here. Photoshop, bird.
Right, random photograph of a sandpiper, which I took again to prove that the water was out at that area. All right. So this is me, I've walked in. Right, there's my wee tripod.
Aye.
That's the building I pointed out in Google Earth earlier on.
Cool.
All right.
So we can get a good estimate about
how. You can actually even see if I do this to now. God damn it. Just move over. That's the building there.
All right, aye.
All right.
Aye.
And then obviously this is where if you were following this area around and like following the coast, you'd go round the headland kind of area of Greenock and head into Gourock over there, which we'll see more of in a minute, right? So just another wee extra shot to show the tripod and that.
Cool.
All right. See in relation to the building.
Oh, aye.
So there's a much clearer shots because I'm much closer.
Ah, you're much closer now when you're taking these shots.
So now you can see how much you ought to be able to see.
All right, aye.
All of this,
aye,
as well as the lower half of the building,
aye,
was missing in the earlier shots. And then again, just driving it home, look at this. You cannot go anywhere but beyond that water. So even though in terms of angular size compared to whatever's in the background, it can block it above the waterline. Can he block anything below the waterline?
We can even see the grey line going right across the middle of the embankment. You can see the grey waterline going right across.
Took a kind of like 3 shots in a row, so that each shot was a wee bit like concentrating on an area of the building. So it just gives me the opportunity to zoom in a wee bit more. So just like you're saying, you can see
the waterline.
It's just the same bits. It's just I did it in 3 sections. You know what I mean?
Aye.
You can see people standing there. Let me zoom out a wee bit because it's a bit fuzzy when you zoom in too much.
I think I can see someone standing there.
So you can see there's like a person there.
Aye.
Person there. You know what I mean? So if you take that person, as being between 5 and 6 feet high, and then you can maybe get like what 2.5
feet, something like that.
Roughly. You know what I mean?
Aye.
Gives you a rough idea.
Aye. So this compared to Dell's
photograph I took. Hey, sorry, I missed that.
No, I'm just saying compared to what Dell was showing us in his pictures, this is like Like,
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? It's to identify
well,
what we're actually looking at, so you know what the hell's going
aye.
on. So the picture I showed you earlier from side on was literally taken from there. You know what I mean? Parked in this car park and walked through the path here. So this was just up to the right yet. A ship was in. I think it's always handy to have other frames of reference for like height and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
So if you look at this kind of close-up shot, maybe if it's, I can't remember every shot I've included, but if you've got like other shots with in view, it'll give you an idea. So you can see like, you know, roughly half the height of the thing is below. And obviously you can compare it to the size of that wee 4x4 down there.
Yep.
So this was moving up, right? Moving up to the right, following the road. Again, if you zoom in, you can see this exposed area. You can see where the water level is anyway.
Yep.
But these wee mounds, you know, are exposed. And then this is the bit I like. So this is the corner.
Aye.
Of that same bit of road.
I'm sure Dell got this bit as well. I'm sure Dell was looking at these same hussies across the water.
So this is the road running in here. This is your water level closer to you. You can obviously see this whole area exposed to the water, right?
Yep.
The water level would say, you can see a dark band there. So roughly in line with this kind of area here is where the water level can go up to. So that would, it's already, you can't see all the way down to the road that's in front of these hussies. And if that water level was up, it'd be covering all of this.
Well, you see there's a wee bit mirroring happening. Yeah. There's just a tiny wee bit just above the water. Bit. Aye.
If you think about it, right, so how can this be water level here and the hussies are down there? You know what I mean?
Aye.
Because this is a good couple of, these two look close because the way the, you know, obviously the way the lens is doing it, but they're not right next to each other, a couple of miles apart. I can show you that again in Google Earth in a minute, but it's just, you know, all this whole area behind in comparison to this, but there's a total difference in the height. So just moving along, you know what I mean? Scanning over that bit of the water. And you've got a wee guy in a sailboat. Yeah.
Oh, aye. That looks like a van as well in the distance. A van.
You know, bearing in mind what we were talking about, that you've got this whole thing where if it was just rising due to perspective at water level, you should be able to see the water running all the way to whatever shoreline, and then any objects on the water would be below that line. You don't see that there. And then as you move across the water, it gets worse because these are getting further away because of the shape of the land. So you're seeing less of what's over this side. Let's see.
There's definitely obstruction going on there as well.
I mean, all this lower stuff is kind of...
Is that just refraction?
So then that's sort of a wee object in the water for comparison. You know what I mean? Say it would stick up and block something that's behind it, but it shouldn't be above it. This is above a house. You know what I mean?
Aye.
Apparently. And then you've got this boat, which appears to, I think it's like a permanent feature down there. And this is another good way of comparing the relative heights, because if you look to the right of it, you can see the land that would be like, you know, if you were to travel across the water, it's the, you know, over here would be the land sort of behind it. But over this way is towards the bit of land that I was looking at through the camera from the, you know, looking across the corner and all that. So this is like, you know, further away, obviously, and this is closer. And it's not just that it's like slightly bigger to the eye or whatever. Look at the heights.
Aye.
On the left of the boat, and the heights on the right of the boat. You know what I mean?
Aye.
Big difference.
There is that, mate.
just a wider shot. You can see it better there. You know what I mean? All this stuff is looking below the waterline.
Yep.
And worse towards this side than it is that side, but much more prominent on this side that this is visible.
Crazy.
So it's the magic selective swell.
Aye.
You can see that's just a bunch of roofs with a bit of mirroring.
Is that
I mean?
roofs? Is that
Aye, it's roofs. And the thing about it is mirroring, obviously, you can only mirror what's visible. I mean, that's why it looks the way it does. So, you know, if it was mirroring, it was in essence doing something to the whole building, then you would see the whole building mirrored. You know what I mean?
It's like kind of stretched them here, eh? It's rather than mirror, it's more like stretched.
Aye, a bit. I suppose kind of elongated. Aye. So I thought all this stuff was quite interesting to me. That you know, this is approximately the same distance between my second position and that piece of land as what Dale would have had to from one of his positions up to Greenock in the first place. Yeah.
Aye.
So there's a bit better shot of that corner.
Oh, aye. Yep. Look at the water line too.
So like you see the water line, you can see the road level, and then these houses are, you know, down here.
That. How's that? Oh, aye.
It's so strange, isn't it?
Aye.
As I say, if you go back to the earlier examples, you know, the water level should climb up to whatever shore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not actually climbing, but that's the effective perspective. It would make it look like it's like a very mild sort of ramp up to wherever it stops, and then you would get the land starting there and up, sort of thing. Unless you had your nose in the water, obviously.
Right. I think that was the building I could see that was close. Again, this thing here with the pointy, it looked like a chapel or something. I think I could see this in Dell's pictures. Excuse me.
Yeah, right there's a good example of what I was been going on about. It's obviously sitting on the waterline.
Mm. Yep.
So, you know, if it was the whole house that was behind it, then this would block out so much of your view of that house. But there's no, you know, if it's on the waterline, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to see the whole bottom half of the house. You know what I mean?
No, but like we said in the last ones we're watching, if that's the case, that boy's sitting on top of a wave that's coming towards you, like a 50-foot or 40-foot wave. So this is a 40-foot wave coming towards you, according to Dell. Like a swell.
Except for the fact that I've got the pictures looking across the corner. You know what I mean?
The tide's out.
And the tide's right out.
Aye.
And there's a better picture of the guy in the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Now he compares, and he moves across and goes behind the ship. Again, you've got a couple of ways.
Look at the buildings in the background, though, man. I mean, they're fucking clearly obstructed.
Aye, totally obstructed apart from the point of the roof.
Aye.
He goes behind. There you go.
Why is that?
There's the sail of the boat.
Aye.
Him in front, and look at. You know what I mean?
That's like that's just the fucking. That's just the roofs, really, that we're seeing. Just the roofs.
Yep. So I like you've got some good comparisons there because you've got the corner, which is closer to you, and the actual. You can see that the water level is relative to the level of the street and all that kind of stuff.
Aye.
And you know, there's no way that you could explain that. Where are we? See the way this thing's laid out? It makes it impossible to look just directly at the bloody photo you want to see. It's so annoying.
What is that yellow thing we're looking at there? What was that? Yellow thing.
Honestly, I don't know the proper name for the damn thing.
The boy.
Where the hell is this? Ah, right, must be the next one. It's just a wee reminder, you know what I mean? So say you've got this, you can see the water level.
Mm-hmm.
And as I say, you can see this bit that shows you the tide's out as well, not just that it's whatever level it's sitting at. You can actually see that it's out. And I've already shown that in the previous photographs. That was the whole point. So at every point when I've taken these photographs, the tide's out.
Aye, so when the tide's in, like that water line will be much higher, and you probably get a lot. Do you think it'll be a lot more blocked with the water up?
Just look at that.
Aye.
Look at the actual ground that it would cover. So I mean, so how do you explain that this ground, which is like, you know, say a metre, 2 meters, or whatever it might be, above the actual water line at this point, is above the houses? You can see that, you know, I mean, you can see the difference in what.
Have you ever thought about returning when it's high tide to get to see what shots you get? Like going back to the exact spots at high tide, see when the water's up at the water mark and all that's covered. Be interesting to see what.
I probably will do it at some point, you know, to see how it compares.
Aye, that would be interesting to see, actually, mate.
Let me just. So I'll just get to the last wee set. So obviously, as I say, I went over to the building.
So when did you do this? At the weekend?
Yesterday, Sunday.
At your own time. Again.
As usual.
You're committed to the globe cult, mate. You'll get your next degree soon, don't worry. You need to prove yourself.
Aye.
See what I noticed? That is it Kincardine Bridge? What bridge is it you're looking at there? No, Kincardine.
Erskine Bridge.
Erskine Bridge. Aye. You can see it's like a curved bridge. Can it cut it? Can it?
Aye, that's right.
Over. But like I said to Alan, I reckon you could go on that bridge with a level and get level all the way across. I think you could stand on it and get level, but stand back, can you see the curve? That's just like the earth can locally flat. I think it's so big for
the main span. Aye, obviously know where it's, you know at either end where it's climbing, but aye, for the main span.
I mean, like right through the sort of like, because it's kind of, because it's so large. It's so large a curve. If we were looking straight down the bridge, it probably look straight. Can it probably look? I'm going to try that maybe with a new bridge. When I'm driving over the new bridge, take a level over, because I think it'll probably stay level, even though it's arching. Even though it's an arching bridge, I think it would stay level in the car. Anyway,
it may be worth a try. Actually,
sorry.
Sorry. So this is me. I'm standing next to the waterfront leisure complex, the building, right? And that's where I was. Again, that's that house along from where I was standing. So I was just off to the right a wee bit there.
Aye, see that.
And I say it was next. Oh, it was near Cardross. So this is Cardross train station.
Cardross train station.
If anybody wants to look this stuff up, you kind of drive in, like literally over a level crossing at the train station, and then go to the left there. So
Validation Boys now in the house, along with Brandon Cook and a truth shall set you free. That's the new guy. We've seen his channel. A truth shall set you free. He's kind of pestering IPS. He's kind of doing his case,
right?
Live stream stuff like that. He's if you're into Christianity and stuff like that, I'd check his channel. He's quite wholesome.
I'm not into Christianity, mate.
Well, that's not your cup of tea, I suppose. I'm sure it is for other people. Right. Anyway, what are we looking at?
So looking up the river, right? If I zoom it in temporarily, there's the Erskine Bridge there.
Oh, aye. See, look, that's hardly. That's a slight. It's slight. I think if you're on that bridge all the way along with a level, it'd be level. If you put it down, it'd be level. Walked 10 feet, put that level down, it'd be level all the way along that bridge, mate. I'm telling you. Even though it looks curved, I reckon if you went on with a wee level, the wee levels I like to use in flat earth and put it on the fucking ground, I can guarantee you, probably most likely it's going to be level, even though it's curved.
I think you're right.
I'm going to try that.
It's actually worth there's probably a few bridges you could do it with. And anybody that can drive or whatever should be able to do it, or even if you've got pedestrian access to it. Unlike the new bridge,
it's similar. It's similar to the whole flying the plane with the level. It's a similar idea. Again, like how that what's his name, D Marble took a level or something and a plane with him and it stayed level. But it's the same kind of idea with this. Can you relative to the ground? And if you put even on this curved surface, because the curve is so massive, if you put a level down locally, it'll still be level to a point. I think so. But I'm going to maybe test that.
Across the main span, definitely. And even though there's a slight curve all the way across it, the middle part, the main span, would definitely show that, I think.
Between the two posts, it'd probably be level,
Aye.
Even though you can see it is arched.
Aye, there's a slight. Aye.
Yep.
Right, where was I? So you're looking up the river, right? To the left, you got Dumbarton, and over the other side here somewhere is where Dell would have been taking these observations, you know.
Mm-hmm. So you're doing it, Dell, now?
Aye. This was just looking the other way. Just a general sort of look around at where I was standing and stuff. So that's that boat.
Right.
Sorry, mate. Click on it, you wee shit. The fuck are you doing? Move. Right, so that's that boat dock that we're looking at from the other side.
The cranes.
Right, and that's the other one in the water.
Oh, aye. The sort of Navy ship.
Aye, just to give you an idea. There's that wee thing.
Oh, there's that.
But this is what I was saying. Like, obviously, when you could see the land closer to this, it was kind of like over here. See the church?
Aye.
So this was the land that looked higher up, while the stuff over, like, would be to your left now, was looking lower down. So this is the name of the boat. If anybody wants to look it up, the Minna.
Minna.
Right. So this is looking back up the river.
Right.
Notice what I was saying to you earlier. Again, this is, see as far as wherever the level of water is that you can see, this is actually on top of it. The trees, you can't see the bottoms of the trees, you can't see the grassland underneath it at all.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see the tops of the trees.
But it's a 40-foot swell coming towards you, mate.
Aye, right. And so then again, right, bridge in the background, trees just disappearing, totally cut halfway off, and there's those features I pointed out right at the beginning.
Yep.
Remember what I was showing you about them? For a start, you can't see the bottom of that buoy.
Yep.
In fact, if I put that back, give me a minute, mate.
Yep.
There's how it should look.
Yep.
Right. Can't see the bottom of that one. Can you see the full base of that? Remember I was pointing out that you could see it, it's actually on these
what's
like
closer?
That, it was like a line of
what one's closer?
Cement or some.
What's the closer one out, the green and one in the cement?
I think it is actually the wee green one that's closer.
Closer than that,
aye. So as I was pointing out in the earlier photos, you could see that the water level was down. Mm-hmm. And that these things were actually sticking up out of the water, and you could see the kind of rocky base running in a line that kind of joined them, and you know what I mean? So none of that is visible. None of it. You can't see any of it. But as I've pointed out, in every observation, the water's out. You know what I mean? So what you would need to believe, as I say, Deus Ex Machina.
And there's that arch bridge.
No matter where you stand on a river, the tide is out, that any direction you look, there's a fucking 40-foot swell.
Aye, exactly. There's that arch bridge in the background looking pretty straight, close up.
Yep. Right, sorry, I was just confirming what the building was again. If anybody wants to check it out,
it's at the back of it.
Aye.
That's
the wee sign at the front.
Aye, so Dell was clearly showing obstruction, and I think you've shown that.
These two, I think, pretty important as well. So you've got the earlier photos that I was showing you with the boats in the corner of the sort of Greenock heading into Gourock, where that place Kern or whatever it is in the background. And then you could just look across the water and you've got buildings at a certain level in the background, but then as you go over to the Minna, you've got them even lower and more hidden, and then the buildings with the church on it and stuff that would be behind them and like across the river from you are all back to normal level. Do you know what I mean? And then you look back up the river looking the other way and you get the same level of obstruction at the same rough kind of distances, where the trees that we could see totally clear of the water and grassland down below it are all completely hidden. The bottom end, the buoys are, this buoy is completely hidden, and all the structure that this was sitting on top of that was exposed to the water was doing, completely hidden.
Gone.
So
gone behind the curve.
Make of that what you will. Make of that what you will.
Right. How far away was this? Looking down, back down.
Let's go back to
roughly the same distance. Is it about 10 miles?
If we go back to Google Earth, we can approximate it.
So I think you've done well in debunking Dale's crappy video, which he kind of done it himself. He kind of showed us like his own
he showed you his own obstruction, but he also did.
Well, I'll screen share exactly what Dale showed us in his video again, just to remind people what he showed us and what we've just been looking at. What you've been showing us what actual balding looks like. Right, screen share. Right, so this is what Dell. This is what we could just grab. We had to pause it because Dell was moving around blurry. But this is this building where we've been looking at, guys. And you can see here, the windows aren't like this. This is because there's the water line's higher, obviously here. I think the water line's up there, or there's a bit of refraction. But it looks like a ferry. It looks nothing like what it should look like.
Give me a wee second, and I will find one of the better pictures of it as well for comparison. Again, just so you can.
Well, I'll keep my one up, and you can get your one up, and then we'll just sort of flick between the both. His one's got a lot of boys in front of it. Can they red boys? There's about fucking 4 boys, and there's
just position in the river, and it just depends what way you're looking.
Aye. Have a quick look in the chat. So we've got Validation Boy. I think he's going to have a live stream soon. That'll be quite good. Because I've not heard.
Right, just whenever you want to do, whatever you need to do to switch between, mate. That's that photo.
Right, aye. So we've got my one here. Well, I'll go into full screen with the. Oh shit! I can't. What's that one? I can't go into full screen and switch between the two, but but we still get the rough idea. Let's see. So this is your one.
Yeah.
All right. And this is Dale's one. So we can see that there's a small row of windows that just as the roof ends. You know what I mean? And you can see that with Dale. Then you can see the start of the big windows. But with Dale's one, it kind of just ends and then it just starts mirroring. And this white part at the bottom of Dale's video, this doesn't exist in reality. This is like a mirrored reflection I think because of the obstruction, because the water line is obstructing it, it's given that effect. You know what I mean? It's giving that illusion. Aye, so well done, mate.
What the hell? Well, there's big difference. There's a lot of it missing.
Aye, mate.
And as I say, you look back up the river, you get the same effect looking the other way. Standing at the building, looking back up the way.
Aye.
Right, let me I'll slip.
Have you got any there? Is that you? Is that you, mate?
That's all the images. As I say, there was some videos of me just scanning around and zooming in, but it's the same shit. It's just that it's in video format instead of photos, so I'll no waste anybody's time with it.
What you've done is you've went to the same location, you've looked at the same buildings, and you've clearly shown obstruction. The Dell kind of shown himself. He showed it himself. You've just showed it clearer. That's all you've done, mate.
Right, so there, if you can see that.
All right.
So this is the building I've got pinned. I'm kind of looking back down the river roughly about here. So that's about, do you know what I mean? So you're seeing the bridge in the background, but you're seeing the kind of trees and stuff around about here. So that's about 10 miles. And that's basically like reversing the observation that Dale did. He's doing this end and he's looking up at Greenock. You know what I mean?
Well, in the curvature calculator, it's 66.6 miles of curvature you should be getting.
What? 66.6
miles of curvature, like obstruction you should be getting. with 10 miles
you mean-
exactly. With 10 miles exactly. So if you add your height, we're probably talking. We'll give or take. We'll be generous to them. We'll say even fucking 35 feet. The obstruction. I mean, maybe 40.
Let me just. So this is the line. I see the similarities there, right? So this is the line I drew earlier from the second position where you were looking through the corner to that stuff in the background.
Yep.
It's almost the same distance, 9.4 miles. So the distance from Greenock, I'll zoom out a bit. So the distance from Greenock here at the actual building that you can see in the videos back to where the observations was done, and the distance from my second position through to there, almost exactly the same. And you're getting the same level of obstruction when I do that observation and when I look back the way down here.
Nice.
So it's consistent with the distance, whatever way you're looking. And the tide is out all the time.
You need to start compiling some of this stuff together into one big, but not even in one big video. You need to them short because people can lose interest in these massive. I think you need to sort of compile lots of short wee episodes onto your channel, mate. These.
I think, I suppose, like that's been 3 weeks in a row. So what I might do is, if I manage to get anything worth adding, like another week, that'll be like a month. I can maybe put all of them together.
You're always welcome here, but I'd like to see you doing your own live streams and maybe getting people on to like discuss these things with you on your own channel and building up your own channel. Ken, it's a shame that you have to come here to let people see. You know what I mean? It's like if we can get people over at your channel to see this stuff too, and get yourself going with live streams, because I want to get down to the fourth. Like me, to people listening, we've not told you. Well, I've not told anyone about me and Al met up. And we went on the new bridge, the new fourth bridge. We walked right up. Like I was practically maybe 20 feet over it. But as we security guard came run out, no, I have to phone police. So we obviously went places we shouldn't have been. But it was too easy to get there, Al. It's too easy to walk up.
It was ridiculous.
But it was a good day. It was a good day. It was a good day to sort of look at our locations, how far we can see, what we can look at in certain islands, certain oil rigs, the bridge as well. So I want to do some observations myself as well, add to this stuff that you're doing, because it's only fair. And maybe I can come over to your channel again when you're doing a live stream and show my stuff on your channel. You know what I mean?
That would be cool.
Aye.
I think it's better when you've got any of this stuff to look at it with somebody else anyway, instead of just going, look what I found. You know what I mean?
Yep. But I just don't want to take all the credit for your hard work, mate. You've done a lot of good work, and I don't want to feel like I'm taking the credit. And everybody that's listening, Al's done all this himself. I'm just giving him somewhere to show people, because we obviously know I'll get more views than a guy that's only got 30, 40. Well, now you've got 45 subs now, eh? I think
something like that,
I think you should get more people sub to Al K. Nice videos, even if it's no flyer, if it's nice scenic videos on your motorbike and that, mate.
Aye, when I get the chance.
Aye. I didn't think you'd be bigger than me when I met you, mate. I didn't think you'd be 7 foot. How's that?
Well, I try to keep that shit quiet, you know what I
mean? You didn't sound like you're 7 feet tall. Right.
No.
Right, what are we looking at? We're looking at where we were.
Oh, it was just because you were talking about it, mate. I was looking at it there.
Loitering. So we can show the people what we can actually look at for here, because there's lots of good points to look at that are further than 10 miles. Again, what Dell showed us was like 9 point, just under 10 miles. There's shit here that's fucking 20 miles, 30 miles that you can look at. So I'm going to go there, aye. That's where I'm going to go. Yep.
Give me the fucking thing. Okay.
I'll probably have booby traps. Right, we better not show them, because I'll probably put fucking landmines there, mate, now that you've showed them.
That's true. I never thought about that.
They'll set up a couple of booby traps in that corner. They'll start camping there, waiting for me.
Okay, anyway, that's the general area, and then obviously you can get various views across different
bits. That rig. That rig's miles away. over at Kinross.
This,
Leaving sort of way. That wee dark shadow, aye, that's a rig. Remember, there's sort of mobile
right across from Bucky.
Aye. Leaving Bucky. Aye.
There you go.
If there's flat, we should be able to see that beast. Well, I should be able to see it for Leith. How far away is that from me, man? That must be a good fucking 30 miles or something.
It's amazing how well you can see that in a satellite photo.
And you can't see. They must be scared to go about where Dale fucking took his photographs because there's nothing. It's like black and white imagery, like fuzzy.
It's not that bad. It's just there's certain wee bits of road, and it's out of date. It's not up to date. They obviously don't go down there every. So like there's a bit of it where if you go into Google Earth now, it just looks like a big bit of spare ground. But if you actually go there, then it's a whole new built estate with all these houses on it. You know what I mean?
Right. Aye, so looking over, how far is that for me?
Just shy of 13 miles.
13 miles. And what about what's it? That was that fair? Was it? What island's that again? The one that's furthest away in the fourth, just in the mouth. That big one. Was it fair?
Is it the Isle of May?
The Isle of May. That's it. The Isle of May. How far is that?
27.6, whatever. So call it 28.
28 miles away. Mm-hmm. Right. These are a few. And the bridges. How far is the bridges away for there? For that point. It's kind of hard to see at this zoom level, to be honest. But it's good that you're using the line because though we can't follow your cursor, we can still see your line that you're making on the map. Even though your pointer's not accurate, you can still see the line you're making. How far was that?
I'm going to zoom in again and do it better. So the rail bridge, well, I suppose you'd need a line of sight. So to the rail bridge, it's about 8.2 mile.
All right, nice.
8.6 to the one behind it.
Oh, so I should see a nice bit of obstruction standing at that point because about 8 miles.
Right, the new one.
50-foot obstruction.
The new one isn't on the map here, so another wee bit further for that. So say about 9 mile to the new one.
So it's maybe roughly how far Dell was looking.
Aye.
If I was standing there looking at the bridges. Well, I think the bottoms of the bridges will be obstructed, mate. That's why I want to go down to that point.
I would say so.
But just weather permitting, mate. Weather permitting.
Well, I'm up for doing this shit, so it'd just be a case of getting the right time, and as you say, the weather. We can get some shit sorted out.
Even I can do various weather, even if it's raining a wee bit. Maybe we could try different weather conditions just to see how far we can see when it is raining. Do you know what I mean? Different conditions.
I suppose it's handy to have like comparisons, but in general, obviously, you want to get the clear shots. So then there's no, ambiguity about what you're seeing. You know what I mean? You can just say, right here, this is as far as I can see, instead of, like I said, the ones that managed to get down to Ailsa Craig and that. There's such a nice, cold, clear view. So, there was none of that distortion shit and all that. It's quite good. But obviously...
Can you hear that noise? What's that noise? That's another nail in the fucking flat earth coffin. You're okay, what you're doing? I'm just providing the coffin and you're just hammering in the nails, mate. You're hammering in the nails. So that's another one. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So you got anything else you want to say before I wrap this up? Anything you've seen lately or anything on your mind that you want to get off your chest that's maybe been playing up? Or was that you quite happy?
No, I think there's maybe some things that we should leave well alone. Aye. Well, I mean, you see the occasional wee stupid thing. I did that wee video the other day. I don't know if you watched it yourself. Just pointing out the omission of information on the video about density and buoyancy.
Aye. It was that sort of highlighting mindfulness.
Yep.
I've seen that.
The usual crap, you know what I mean? They cherry pick a wee moment out of a video and pretend it supports their ideas, and then you look at the video and I mean, knowing how density buoyancy works, you know, it's like it doesn't work without gravity.
Aye.
So you know, if you go and watch the video, you're going to find them mentioning gravity unless they just so happen to miss it. And sure enough, you know what I mean.
And next month we've got that
it's just
conference thing as well.
What's this?
In the Flat Earth conference, in the big conference that's happening.
Oh, is it the one in, is it Carolina or something?
It's next month, mate. It's been so quick. It's next month. I think I might just.
So how's that working?
As a live broadcast, you can buy a ticket to watch the live broadcast. I might buy one.
No, don't give them money, you fud.
Just to troll it, man.
Somebody else will probably be doing it and streaming it or something.
I'll rebroadcast it so it saves people fucking paying for it. You know what I mean?
Nathan Oakley will probably be doing that.
Probably.
That's his thing, then.
Or Sheeps and Neeps. That's what they're all fucking doing it. They're all like, and they're getting really bad quality. They can like. Nathan's trying to rebroadcast Sheeps and Neeps, but Sheeps and Neeps is coming through crackly. But on his side, he's fine. And Nathan Oakley, so they're both trying to like tell each other to fix their sounds, but their sounds are fine, and they're just fighting over viewers and all that.
Okay, it's pathetic. Just a joke anyway. I mean, at the bit I did listen to it, and I listened to the fight, and it was 50-50. I thought that Nathan had half a point, which is that technically it is his channel and he can kind of do what he wants with it. But other than that, he was being a cheeky bastard. But I think that the best part about it was his excuse for doing what he was doing and getting pissed off was saying, well, I care about production quality. And he's sitting in his living room in his t-shirt on the couch, you know what I mean? You're like, fuck off, production quality.
Clown, man. Fucking joke. Right, mate. Cheers for bringing this to us, mate. And I'm sure Dell will have something to say about it. But like we said, we showed that Dell actually showed us obstruction, and you've just shown clearer what has been obstructed and how far and different points. And I think you've put forward a good case, a good batch of evidence. No proof, but good fucking evidence.
No, what's the thing in it is it's like if you do something, then other people should be able to repeat it.
Aye.
So I've went to the same place and I've did the same sort of observations and got evidence the opposite of what he claims, even though he provided that evidence himself.
Well, if the Earth was flat, he would have seen much more of that leisure building. That he would have seen a lot more of that. So
plus, it's always the same with him. He's always rhyming off his wee script and his mantras and telling you how things ought to be, and he contradicts himself while he's doing it. So he went out his way to go down there and take some crappy video and whatever. And then from what I can gather, this is what I've been told, I've not watched the video myself, he then tries to make some statement about stop making any more videos. And then in the other part that he did, I think he also did the same thing where he says, oh, pictures and videos aren't proof of anything, blah, blah, blah. So he says pictures and videos aren't proof of anything. Then he goes out to get his own fucking pictures and videos and tries to make it like it proves flat earth. You know what I mean?
Aye. And then he says that
he's always contradicting himself.
He is contradicting. But like we say, we'll just keep hammering away, mate. Hammering them into submission. Dell will soon submit, just like Timmy submitted to him tonight. We'll get Dell submitted to us. Hey, mate.
Wasn't he going to go there?
Like a little bitch, we'll get Dell to submit to us eventually. Right, mate. I'm going to
maybe the fact that he went outside his shed and went and done observations was Dell's way of saying that. Maybe it's secret, you know. Maybe that's his way of communicating that.
Maybe, man. Maybe
we're taking it the wrong way.
Maybe there's a wee love affair going on or something. I don't know, mate. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up with that and keep it nice and short and sweet.
Aye.
That's 1 o'clock.
No problem, mate.
That's 1 o'clock.
I know. Thanks again for letting us come on and share this stuff.
Like I said, mate, it's a pleasure for me that you're showing the shit on my channel. Because I don't know why to take all the credit for it. The only credit I want is the fact that I'm giving you somewhere to show your shit and just help you sort of look through it. Anyway, man, have a good night.
And I'll get in touch with you about that other stuff.
I will need me up again, man. We'll need me up again. That was good. It was just, do you know what? When we met up, it was like I known you for ages. It felt like I'd already met you. It was weird. It was a fucking weird feeling. Yeah, it's a weird feeling when you've spoke to or known of people on the YouTube for a while, and when you first speak to them, it feels like Martin Liedtke. The first time I spoke to him was like after about a year, kind of actually going back and forth through emails and stuff like that. When I did speak to him, it felt like I'd done it 100 times before. It was weird. It was the same when I met you. I felt like I'd already met you. And it was that feeling that, even though I've never seen you, you know what I mean?
It's funny how it works like that. I mean, I've got a pal that I know out in the States, and I've no met her physically, but I only spoke to her through text comments on a social media site. And that was like for over a year. And then eventually ended up, we swapped phone numbers and stuff, and I finally managed to get like a phone call through to the States and speak to her, and we ended up like talking to each other for about 6 hours. You know what I mean? It was absolutely ridiculous. But
watch your missus will be slapping you over the head, mate.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Right, anyway, man, I'll love you and leave you, and we'll just wrap up with that, mate. Right?
Cheers again, mate.
No problem, man. And I'm sure enough, we'll see you again with some good stuff.
Oh, aye. This is just going to keep coming, mate. Trust me.
Definitely. Keep hammering the nails in, mate.
Exactly.
Right. Catch you later, man.
See you later. Cheers.
See you later.